Sometimes, even for 2 hours, we want to step outside our routine lives and immerse ourselves in the world of action. However, unfortunately, some people have personally experienced scenes that rival horror films. Today, we have compiled scenes that are no less terrifying than horror films.
Grady Stiles Jr.'s life began in 1937 with a rare genetic condition called ectrodactyly, resulting in a congenital deformity that affected his hands and feet, giving them a lobster-like appearance. This physical characteristic made Stiles a notable figure in society. Stiles entered the world of circuses, earning the moniker Lobster Boy and performing for many years. However, personal struggles, familial conflicts, and the challenges imposed by his genetic condition led him into internal turmoil and violent tendencies over time. Particularly, the difficulties within his family life resulted in tensions among Stiles, his wife, and children. These tensions culminated in a tragic event in 1978 when a member of Stiles' family committed a murder. Stiles was accused and stood trial for the crime. Stiles' life was intriguing, showcasing his genetic condition and performances in the circus world, yet also revealing the complexity of internal conflicts and memories filled with domestic violence. This story provides a perspective on how society reacts to differences and illustrates how internal conflicts within individuals can lead to tragic consequences. Andrei Romanovich Chikatilo was a serial killer who operated in the Soviet Union and was identified to have killed at least 52 people between 1978 and 1990. His victims primarily consisted of young women and children. Chikatilo's crime spree involved sexual assaults, torture, and murders. The acts were often committed by stabbing or strangulation, and he escalated the brutality by mutilating the sexual organs of his victims. In the 1980s, Chikatilo, linked to the murders by Soviet police, was tried in 1992 and found guilty, ultimately receiving the death penalty. The trial of Chikatilo revealed gruesome details about his perverse psychology and the nature of his crimes. This case marks a significant turning point during the dissolution of the Soviet Union, shedding light on how society reacted to such brutal acts. Chikatilo's life story encompasses a dark character analysis and a series of horrifying events in the world of crime. His narrative provides a thought-provoking perspective on criminal psychology and how society responds to such heinous crimes. Andrei Chikatilo's childhood unfolded amidst the economic hardships, famine, and societal changes of the post-war era in the Soviet Union. Alexander Yurievich Pichushkin, born in 1974, is a Russian serial killer who operated in the early 2000s, primarily in Moscow, and is believed to have committed between 48 to 60 murders. His crimes were particularly gruesome, characterized by sadistic and brutal methods. Known as the chessboard killer, Pichushkin earned this moniker due to his calculated approach, likened to moving chess pieces on a board. He often carried out his murders in parks and abandoned areas, employing various methods such as strangulation, fatal beatings, and, in some cases, striking his victims in the head with a hammer. Pichushkin's motivation for committing these crimes was often driven by personal gratification and a sense of superiority. He continued his killing spree until he was apprehended in 2006, with his gruesome acts extending beyond merely taking lives, but also reflecting sadistic and deviant tendencies. After his capture by Russian authorities, Pichushkin confessed to his crimes in great detail, causing widespread public outrage. In 2007, he was sentenced to life imprisonment for the murders he committed.
Leonard Lake and Charles Ng are a notorious pair of serial killers known for their horrifying crimes committed in the United States during the 1980s. Their crimes included sex slavery, torture, and a series of gruesome events. Lake and Ng's criminal activities primarily took place in California, specifically at Leonard Lake's rural property in Wilseyville. Here, they abducted victims and subjected them to sexual assaults and torture. Lake meticulously documented these crimes